Welcome to Boomin' in the Booth for all things voiceover. Featuring your host, Ken Elliott.
Hey, here we are with another episode of Boomin' in the Booth. Today I've got Ian O'Neill, actor, voiceover artist. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Ken, how's it going today?
Pretty good. This is, you are another one. Last week was the first episode. I've worked with you quite a bit, and I don't think we've ever FaceTimed or anything like that before. We've talked on the phone and texted, but first time.
That's correct. Yep.
Face to face, as I do my air quotes.
Yeah.
So I'll start off with the basic stuff. How long you been doing voiceover now?
Got into voiceover pretty early on in the acting career. I was working on a Hallmark movie that was filming here in Knoxville. As an extra, it wasn't anything special, anything like that. But funny story is my car is very temperamental, very tricky, and I ended up with a dead battery after the filming was done. And one of the guys that was there helped me jump my car, and we got to talking. And he mentioned that he did voice work and picked his brain on that a little bit, and decided I wanted to throw my ring in the hat, or hat in the ring, as it were, and give it a go. You know, I like to do silly voices when I read books to my kids and stuff. I always like to read along in the voices, and reading in Hansel and Gretel, I want to do the German accents when I read Hansel and Gretel, and so it seemed like it would lend itself well to what I could do, and give me some extra opportunities just to try to get my foot in the door and make something of myself in this industry.
Right. And I know you've got acting background on camera.
Yep.
Have you done any stage work?
Yeah, I did theater in high school, and I'm also a member of a traveling comedy group called the Tortuga Twins. We go around to various Renaissance festivals across the country. It's a sort of a comedy with audience participation, a little bit of improv. It's a lot of fun. We do retellings of fairy tales, and at the end of the day, we do an R-rated show that's a little bit more risque. You know, if your kids are there, then we're gonna call you out on it and make you feel bad for having your kids at our R-rated show, that kind of thing.
And like having an acting background, I was talking about this last week with Mike. Voiceover and voice acting to me are two different things. They're two different animals.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And having an acting background, if you're going to be in voice acting or some form of training, is probably 100% essential.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And
yeah, you can't just sit down in front of a mic and start reading words and expect to just come up with something amazing just like that.
Yeah, it's a huge difference between I knew a truck or something would drive by, probably the UPS guy bringing my Amazon stuff.
Right.
Where was I? There's a huge difference between like imitating voices and doing funny voices and playing a character. And,
oh yeah, definitely.
I get, we work, Ian brought it up last week. We do River Comics projects. I think you've done some other stuff with me too, some advertisements and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you might be able to do a good voice, but I get I hear people that, not claiming to be the world's greatest voice actor or nothing like that, but you can definitely tell when someone has a little bit of acting experience versus I can do a funny voice. And
right.
For anybody starting out, if you're wanting to get into voiceover, I 100%. I'm not going to say go pay a coach. I'm not going to say that. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and do that. But it does not hurt to get some theater experience or read scripts. Hell, there's some pretty good YouTube videos out there with coaches talking about it that you could watch and give you some ideas,
Oh yeah,
anyway,
100%.
I just wanted to touch on that. You got some on-camera stuff too. You were busy here a little while back, weren't you?
Yeah, this year's been mostly short films, independent projects, things like that. One of the things that I did is supposed to land on some sort of streaming service at one point, but who knows when that's going to happen. There's a lot of things that you do, and sometimes they make it through the whole way, they get finalized, they get laid down, and sometimes they just sort of fizzle and fade away. I'm just trying to get experience and get myself out there as much as I can, because I've only been seriously at this for about 3 years, actively pursuing any kind of way that I can use my talent to make money, pay the bills. But I've had some good experiences in the past. I did get to do some extra work on the new Spider-Man movie earlier this year, so that was pretty cool. I'm hoping that I made the cut on that. I don't do too much extra work anymore. I signed on with a new agent recently, and she's like, "No more extra work. You're not a prop." But I mean, it was Spider-Man, dude. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, you got to witness something, you know.
Oh yeah, it was great. Got to see Marissa Tomei. That was really cool. She's just as beautiful in person as she is on screen. Cool. So that was awesome.
Cool. Whenever you started out with voice acting, what kind of gear did you start with? I know you've evolved some over the last 2 years that we've been talking about.
I got on Amazon and I just got the cheapest little condenser mic that I could. It probably was $20 or $30 for the set. It was the condenser mic, the pop filter, and let me see if I still have it in the drawer here. Yeah, this newer NW100. That was what I used to get the sound into my computer. And it worked, it worked fine when we first started working together. That's the equipment that I was using, and I was able to lay down some decent enough sound to get by. But then as I wanted to take it a little bit more seriously, obviously, started making some money doing it, and it was worth making the investment into. I started upgrading things just a little bit at a time. Rocking the AT 2020 condenser mic right now, and I've upgraded to the Behringer Euphoria UM2 for my interface.
Nice. I like the AT 2020 myself. It was a nice little microphone, and it's fairly budget friendly. Like, honestly, if you got the money when you're starting out, totally go XLR. If you don't, do what you got to do. But like that would be a good one to start out with, especially like eBay is your friend. That's why I try to tell everybody. Mm-hmm. I mean, I started out, I had I want to say it's a Samson, like a vocal microphone for singing or whatever that I had goofing around the house. And I got my audio interface. It's an old Tascam. And I think I paid $20 for it. And it was, I mean, it's a little dated, but it works. Hell, I bought my laptop off of Facebook Marketplace for $80.
There you go.
But equipment, and then a treated space. I know you've made adjustments over the last year or two to kind of get you a little bit better area to record in.
Right. Yeah, I did the whole PVC frame setup with the moving blankets. Got clips to, ring clips to hang the blankets on, so I can slide back and forth to get in and out of it. And it's a pretty good size. I wanted to. Oh, sorry about that. I wanted to have a space that would hold my whole desk, so it's not a small booth, but it still does keep the sound in. And I think that we'd both noticed a difference in quality once I started using that for sure.
Yeah, since we first started, I can tell the difference between the beginning and now. Just every little upgrade and change you made, and I mean, that's a great way to do it. Just that's what I've done is, kind of upgrade as you go along, and you can always hear a little bit of difference, and it just keeps getting better and better, and works out for everybody.
Right. And you learn more as you're going along. When I first started out, I mean, I pretty much. You are who got me started in this. Like I was pursuing it. I got a membership on voices.com, which I wouldn't go that route again, because for the amount of money that I had to pay, I got absolutely no gigs off of voices.com. And I know I was new starting, and so my sound probably wasn't 100% here. But once I met you, I was able to get a lot of information from you and see what I was looking for. And I mean, you handle the editing for River, so I send you my stuff raw. But at this point, based on what I learned from talking to you, I can do it myself now. But at the beginning, I had no fucking clue what I was doing at all.
I was there. I mean, I was just a little bit before you. I was in the same spot. Trust me.
Right.
And you,
But the info's out there, if you find some people that are doing it, like you said, there's YouTube videos out there, it's, we live in the era right now where not knowing something is just temporary. It's as long as it takes to get to Google and type in what you're looking for there. And if you're willing to do the research and put in the time, you can teach yourself a lot of stuff without having any experience at all.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then, and Mike and I touched on this last week, is that the voiceover community is a really tight-knit community. I mean, once you kind of start working with a few people or something, everybody's happy to help. I haven't ran into anybody yet that's as Mike would have called him, a diva, and,
right.
And not willing to be like, oh, hey, yeah, I need some help, dude. What do I need to do? Everyone I've met's been totally fine with helping out. And
I think, yeah. At this level, especially, and it's the same in acting too. When you're none of us are big names, none of us are famous, none of us even deserve to remotely have an ego at this point. But at this level, you'll find that a lot of people are willing to help out because I help you now, then you help me later. I've joked around before. It's about coattails. I want to get some coattails for you to ride on, and then one day you'll have some of your own coattails for me to ride on, and we grow together and we move forward together. There's really no downside to taking a little bit of time and helping somebody in this industry out just to give them a little push forward. It just takes a little bit of your time, but it's definitely very much a what goes around comes around kind of thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, even, we've talked about it, and I've talked about it with some other people, every once in a while we all have our down days, and I know when I had some stuff going on, I had people reaching out to me, hey man, you all right? You need any help? And it's like a tight knit community, and I absolutely love it. I'm so happy I got involved with it just to have met the new people that I've met. I've got to sit down with, I think one voice actor that I've worked with, actually sit down in person and meet with him, and then several others. We text and joke around and email and communicate. It's a good time. It's really fun. It's a fun community to be in.
Yeah,
for sure. What are your favorite projects, or do you have any you want to talk about? Or
I mean, I really enjoy the work that we do for River. Honestly, the way that my voice is, I have a higher voice. I'm a tenor. When I sing, I tend to have a higher octave voice. It does not really get me much commercial work. They want a guy with a deeper voice. They want a guy that's a little bit more bass, baritone, that kind of thing, because it's soothing. You want someone that's gonna seduce you with their chocolatey velvet tones, and I just don't hit that naturally without it sounding fake. So doing this kind of character acting really works out well for me because I can kind of have some more fun with it. And you tap me to play younger roles. That higher octave voice of mine lends well to playing younger roles, the same way that you'll have adult women playing, children, like Nancy Cartwright does Bart Simpson's voice and things like that. That's worked out really well for me. And I've had a lot of fun doing those voices for River. There's some, in particular, Star Sheriff. I love doing the alien doctor voice in Star Sheriff, and I doing Hades and Moriarty have just been a blast. I love getting to lay those down and then to hear it later. I'm not a big fan of watching myself when I do something like we just did a screening of a film that we worked on earlier this year, and I was cringing the whole time, hiding my face, like, oh my God, but I enjoy listening to myself. I think it's fun to hear my voices come out of the screen. I just listened to that Sentinel trailer again, and to hear my voice coming out, in the beginning of that's awesome. It's a good time. And I'm very proud of it. Like to share it with my friends. Hey, look what I can do.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I've been on a few shows, kind of an extra. One of them I kind of got, well, we won't get into that, but you want to be the lead in this show, this one episode, this character? I'm like, hell yeah. But they failed to mention there's 0 lines and you're out of focus the entire time. It was a glorified extra.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds like a true crime reproduction.
How'd you know?
Gee, I wonder.
That murder porn.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, Knoxville here, we're the capital for that. So my early resume is full of that stuff. But I've kind of taken a step back from doing that, pretty much for that reason. It's good to get the experience and fluff up and everything like that. But at the end of the day, yeah, your face is going to be blurred out, and you're not going to have any lines. So your career is not going to go anywhere from that. So.
I have to say though, that particular shoot. I think I was on set for 2 or 3 days. Was the most fun I've had on set yet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they can be a blast, you know. You're chasing people down the hall, strangling people on beds, covered in fake blood and stuff like that. It's fun. It's a shame that the final product, you're like, yeah, I'm there, I promise.
Yeah, you can't
I
swear.
Yeah.
Or, let's see. Well, the joke I'm always talking about is even the one time I had lines, they ended up cutting my lines and having a voiceover, like, not like replacing my voice, but, you know, having a voiceover going over the part. And I'm like, I have yet to have my face and voice on the screen at the same time. You can either hear me or you can see me. Those are the only two options I've had so far.
I've had a couple that I've been very fortunate to land because they don't really do too much sound up anymore here. But when they did Homicide Hunters, I landed 2 of those, and there was another one called Murder Calls. So even with those murder porn shows, I was able to land a few times getting my voice and face on the screen at the same time.
You lucky bastard.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so that's cool because then I was able to use that footage for my demo reels, and when you work short films, student films, those kind of things, you do get your voice and your face out there too, but then that's not going to show up on TV. But if you manage to catch my episode on TV, yeah, you'd see my voice or see my face and hear my voice at the same time, and that is one of the best feelings in the world. As much as I cringe watching myself, just to have that happen it's been amazing, you know?
Yeah. It's always fun stuff, I tell you. Let's see. Do you have a favorite voice to do or a favorite voice actor that does a certain voice that's like that's your favorite one? Like, man, I wish I could be like that, or I'm so proud of this voice.
There's a ton of great voice actors out there, and they're like, I got to say off the top of my head, probably Billy West is one of my favorites just because of the wide variety of stuff that he's done and how present he was in my childhood, even before knowing that was Billy West. You know, he's on Ren and Stimpy, he's Doug, you know, and now he's, you know, if you turn on Futurama, he's every other voice on that. He did Bugs Bunny for a while. That's how he got into the business, by calling people and just talking to them as Bugs Bunny. And he talked to the right person, the right time, and then bam, you know, they're like, oh, this guy's amazing. And then for a good chunk of time, he was the voice of Bugs Bunny, and that's really impressive.
Try doing something
I like doing
like
the voices. What's that?
I tried doing something like that where I would call using a voice trying to get a job, and they blocked my number.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I didn't actually do that, but
who is this guy?
This freak. Why is he calling?
As far as
hello, Clarice.
I mean, I guess it shouldn't.
The call is coming from inside the house.
Shouldn't have been doing my Joker voice, maybe, but. No.
Right. Oh yeah, Mark Hamill too. You know, he's another fantastic voice there. You know, Joker, obviously, he's like, when you think of the Joker, I mean, there have been some great guys to play the Joker, but for me, Mark Hamill is the Joker. That's just it. Just the way that he does it. No one's ever going to do it quite like him.
Yeah. He's got that one down. He's got it cornered too. Video games and the animations and.
Yeah, he was in Avatar. He did the voice of Fire Lord Ozai in Avatar, and you know, and there's so many different things that he does, and there's this really god awful, cheesy live action version of an anime and manga that I used to watch all the time when I was a kid. It would come on HBO when they do the free weekends. It's called The Guyver, and it's one of those ones that's just so bad it's good. And when you're 7 years old, it's amazing. And Mark Hamill has this bit part in it where he plays a cop, and I just remember, watching that as a kid, and it's like, oh, it's Luke Skywalker there. That's amazing, just that's the kind of actor that I want to be. I don't want to be big, famous or whatever. I want to do the fun stuff like that, where you get to be in the movie where people are turning into monsters and this robot guy's cutting off monsters' heads and things like that. That's the kind of career I want. He's famous. Everybody knows who Mark Hamill is, but rather than Star Wars, he's not doing big blockbuster things, but he's not hurting for work either.
Oh yeah, no. I remember him being Cockknocker in Jade.
Yes, exactly.
I mean,
why do they call you Cockknocker? That's a funny story, actually. Wham!
Oh man.
But yeah, as far as like voices that I like to do the fun, different voices. The alien voices, the gnome.
I've got my underpants gnome voice. It's like, Jesus Christ, let's squish your little friend like a grape. Oh my God.
Stuff like that, where it's just not me at all.
That's one of the ones I crack up whenever I listen to that gnome voice.
I love that. That's probably my favorite voice to do. I'm not going to lie. It's just, it's a lot of fun. But I like to do accents too. I think I can do a wide variety of accents, and I like to play around and find new things. For me, a voice, just like voices live in different parts of your head, if that makes sense. Not in your brain or whatever, but like in your mouth and in your oral cavity and your throat and everything like that. Certain voices live a little bit more forward in your mouth. Certain voices live a little bit back in the further your throat or down further, closer to your vocal cords. And it's where you put the vibration. It's where you let the air flow through that lets that voice come to life. And they can kind of take on personalities of their own at that point. There's so many voices that I do for you now that I have to go back sometimes and listen to, oh shit, how did I do Bane's voice in The Last Star Sheriff? Okay, let me listen to that and then practice it and figure out where is he living right now? Okay, that's where he lives, right in the back, right up there, kind of below my nose. Okay, let's do it. And then yes, Star Sheriff, yeah, now this is Bane and we have to do this right now. And yeah.
And that, like the versatility, see, that's why you get to do so many voices, because you're good at it. I mean,
thanks.
Whenever I need different sounding voices, like, you can't have everybody sound the same, and you're good at doing that. So that opens up opportunities for you, which in this business,
oh yeah, definitely.
The more versatile you are, the easier it's going to be to find something that you're going to fit into.
Right.
And, if you're just starting out at this, that's something you want to practice, being more nasal, being less nasal.
Right, yeah.
A little more high-pitched, a little low-pitched.
Getting that little rasp in there.
Something.
Exactly. And you got to find out what works for you, because like I was saying, I have a higher pitched voice, especially like more so than you do. There's going to be voices that you do that there's no way in hell, no matter how much I practice, I'm just not going to be able to do that. And vice versa too. You're not going to be able to get up as high as I am without your voice cracking. And I'm not going to be able to get as low as you can without it just sounding like absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
And so you got to kind of tailor it for what works for you. But it's easy to play around with. It's fun to play around. You don't need any equipment to come up with a voice. You just need to not be afraid that somebody's going to walk in on you while you're talking to yourself in silly voices.
Mm-hmm. And like if you're starting out and you want to do the practices, like find a script, find a book, like something.
Yeah.
Just read it as that character, because you could sit here and do a fantastic version of Mark Hamill's The Joker, but if there's nothing behind it, you can hear it. I mean, everything goes through that microphone. I mean, I don't know about you, but there's times, on not my lazy days probably, but, most of the time I'm moving behind the mic. I'm trying to get whatever emotion.
Oh yeah, definitely. 100%.
Portrayed by that character to travel through that little cord into the computer and be captured. And if you're just I'm playing the Joker, whatever version you're doing, if that's all you're doing, it ain't there,
No. At the end of the day, it's still acting at the end of the day. And like you were saying, you need that there. But it's funny because it doesn't always translate over well.
No.
Like there are some amazing actors in the Marvel universe, and I'm not going to call any of them out because I know none of them are ever going to, probably listen to this exact podcast or whatever, but still, I don't want to shoot myself in the foot right there. But a lot of them did their voices for their characters in the What If show. And some of them were great. Some of them were awesome, amazing. That translated really well. Some of them, though, it didn't work. You know, it didn't translate over well. As amazing as they were on screen, as wonderful of a job as they did playing those characters, something got lost in that transition from working on the screen to speaking into a microphone. Because it helps, it's similar, but it's different, you know, at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
Now some of them. Sorry, go ahead.
It's different. It's all different. It's different skills, different talents for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that it didn't hurt their career at all, but you know.
Right.
Oh. Do you have a secret voice you haven't used yet that's your absolute favorite? I don't think I've given you a chance to keep any of them a secret at this point, but.
No, I mean, honest to God, I'm very grateful to have met you, you know, because of you, I've done the most voiceover work. I've done the comics with you for years now. And then you got me that dubbing job where I dubbed over for that Australian video, and yeah, and we're working on your podcast now. And also, yeah, I've gotten to just really get out there and got to do a lot of fun stuff, get to really versatile, use a bunch of different accents, you know, where, you know, I'm playing a Filipino character in this one, playing a Japanese character in this one. And I kind of feel bad sometimes. I'm like, I hope this is not cultural appropriation. I don't really want to piss somebody off. I just like doing voices, you know? Yeah. But you know, I'm sure there's a voice living inside me that I've never heard that's just itching to come out one day. And it's just a matter of, you know, you're going to send me a script one day, and that's the voice that's going to come out, you know, and that might end up being the big money making one. So who the hell knows?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, man, I'm really excited to get Sentinel 5 is a podcast that right now you've donated some of your time to help me out with. I'm trying to get a proof of concept together for it. I want to do a crowdfunding campaign. Hopefully a successful one. We all know how those can go, but
yeah.
I'm hoping between one, doing a quality proof of concept the first few minutes of the podcast, which I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think what I've gotten down that I sent you last night so far is
It's good. I'll say it. I'll say it so you don't have to. It's good. It's a well-written script. I can see that you care a lot about it. You've put a lot into it, and I noticed the differences from the first draft that you sent me versus this new one where it's been more fleshed out. It's a good story. You've got good world building. The characters are interesting. I want to know what happens next, and I want to be a part of it too, because it seems like it's something that if the right person were to get their hands on it, it could go somewhere. It's good. And then, yeah, you listen to what you've done with it too, the sound effects that you put in, the quality of the sound, everything's clear. The voices sound great. The effects are very, very appropriate for what it is. The sound levels are where they need to be. Nothing's blowing out one end and then we can't hardly hear anything on the other end. You've done a really, really good job with it, and it shows that you care about it. So if I want to be as much involved with it as I can going forward with this, because I love working with people that are passionate about things. I'm not great at creating my own things, but I love helping people bring their creations to life. It's a joy to see something go from the paper to the screen in one way or the other, or to the speakers, you know, whatever we're doing with it. I think you've got something, man. And I already got on there, and I'm sharing it with my friends and telling them about it. Hey, listen to this. This is awesome. Check it out. I'm the first voice you can hear in there, and it's a great story. This is what it's about. You know, give us some support so we can get this off the ground. And
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been working on. I mean, shoot, I probably shared the first draft with you year and a half ago.
Probably, yeah.
And we've been trying to hash it out. Love to see it on the screen, but I think it's gonna. I'm adapting everything for podcasts just because it's. I mean, honestly, it's more budget friendly than obviously shooting a sci-fi epic
right
TV series.
So yeah,
you know, I'm passionate about it. I'm wanting to get it done, so I'm putting. I don't even want to know how much time I put into this over the last few years. I don't want to know. But yeah, and I appreciate your help on that one. And hopefully here pretty soon, we're going to have something pretty serious going on with it. Have you ever listened to Chrysalis, the podcast?
I gotta say, I'm not a big podcast listener. It's not that I don't have anything against them. I just
Don't
never.
tell anybody but me either.
I know. Hopefully, the people that are listening are way bigger podcast fans than you and I are. But I don't have anything against them. I just never really sought them out. I do audiobooks, man. I listen to audiobooks like they're going out of style. That's my thing. Constantly, always listening to a book when I exercise, when I walk, if I can, and while I'm working or doing chores around the house. Love me some audiobooks. But I think that format, would be good for Sentinel from what we've heard so far, and could be a really good way to get it out there for some people to hear it that might not otherwise get the opportunity. Because aside from you and me, podcasts are really popular. People love them. My friends are always, this podcast, or I'm listening to this one here, and so it's a big thing. There could be a good market for it.
I mean, I listen to them here and there. There's a couple of them. Like, if you don't have me in the first episode, more the audio drama. I listen to, obviously Joe Rogan and Bill Burr a little bit. But mostly whenever I do listen to a podcast, it's an audio drama like what we're working on. And I would say if you like audiobooks, and try listening to Chrysalis.
Okay.
Look it up. Take a listen. Because it is that's what got me into I'm going to have to find more of this kind of stuff. And I haven't found anything yet that spoke to me the way that one did. It's just so well written. The sound design is amazing. I was super impressed. And that's kind of my for Sentinel 5, which is the podcast we're working on right now. So, if you want to look that up later, whenever it comes out, please do. Anyway, that's the goal I'm looking for the sound and the feel and the vibe and everything and quality. Right. But anyway, got that one going. I've got another one I don't know if I've shared with you yet that's being written right now. It's a psychological paranormal thriller. Transition to Dr. Kane, so I will definitely have you on board for that one too.
You post about it, but I haven't seen anything. You haven't sent me anything specifically on that, but I've seen it pop up here and there, on your Facebooks and whatnot.
Yeah, so far it's been I recorded a little trailer for it with the concept, and a lot of people have been interested in it. So now the gentleman Tim McGarren that's been helping me write Sentinel, he's working on the scripts for those. So we're going to get that one going as well, and you'll be a part of that too. So. Oh
yeah. Try and stop me. No, you're stuck with me now, man.
That's cool, man.
For better or worse.
You deliver good work, and you're timely, and that right there goes a long way right now.
I love doing it. I love any job that I can do in my pajamas in the basement in my house. Sign me the hell up for more of that. Getting to be any kind of actor would be fantastic. I've said countless times, I'm just ready to sell out the second that I get the opportunity, whether it's stage, screen, voice, whatever. It's all fun. But yeah, there is something real special about voice acting. I know it doesn't tend to pay the bills as much and all, but you can get a lot of work as a voice actor. Go to any even half famous voice actors IMDb and just see the amazing amount of stuff that they do.
I listen to Ron Perlman's it's a biography when it's about yourself, right? Autobiography.
Yeah.
So I listened to his autobiography, the audiobook, and I didn't know it, but for years he paid the bills doing video game voice work.
Right. Yeah.
And he's an interesting character. I'd say if you got some Audible credits to burn, I'd check out his autobiography. He when I look at him, he in the book he talks about he got an agent, and he said, but you're not going to get real work until you're 40 or 50 years old, because you're like 20 something and you have the face of a 40 or 50 year old.
That's what people keep telling me too.
And is it? You don't have the face of a 40 or 50.
No, not the face of a 40-year-old, but they're like where you're at right now. It's kind of weird when you're in your 30s as an actor, because you're too old to play college and high school students. But I don't have any of that salt and pepper action yet, so I can't really be convincing as somebody's dad. And so yeah, I know it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. My wife hates hates when I say that, but, because she's got to color her hair and things like that. And I'm just like, I wish my hair was gray. And she's, fuck you. But yeah. Yeah, no, he's got a great voice.
Definitely entertaining to hear like how he a lot of the I didn't know he was Beast in the old Beauty and the Beast show, and
right, yeah, definitely.
When that got canceled, I want to say
he didn't even need prosthetics for that. He's already looks just
well, like listening to his book and then realize it. Almost everything he did until he was 40 or 50 was prosthetic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
His face was covered.
He's got that bone structure, I guess, that you could just build on. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's just got such a chiseled, defined, unique face.
Yeah, he definitely
looks like a Maine Coon cat.
Interesting. For sure. But yeah, like I want to say like 8 years he spent basically paying the rent with video game voice work.
God, that's the dream. Oh man,
I know, right?
To be in a video game, dude. To be playing a video game and to have my voice coming out of the main character's mouth. Oh, I'd be able to retire happy at that point and say that I have achieved what I set out to achieve when I started this journey.
I'm hopefully this close.
Yeah?
Yeah. There's a Nightwell Manor. You should look it up. They've been in development for a while. And last summer maybe, I did for their kind of proof of concept and a little bit of the game, the trailer and stuff like that. I voiced, I guess, Mr. Nightwell, the main character. It's kind of like an escape room video game with this dude trying to kill.
Point and click kind of thing.
Yeah, and
cool.
Well, you actually move through. It's
okay,
like
cool.
Video game. Turn into I don't know. It's hard for me to explain. I'm not.
Yeah.
But they've been working on that, and hopefully, I think they said in February they're going to go into full production of the game. And man, I hope the world for them to get that going. I got a little bit of coattail riding in there, so
exactly. Yes,
that'd be cool.
Yes. That would be awesome.
What's your favorite video game?
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Never played it. I don't even play video games.
Yeah.
I've voiced a lot of them, but like small parts.
I play a fair share of them. It's a Final Fantasy meets Disney characters. So like your main character looks like he's right out of a Final Fantasy game, but you also have Donald and Goofy on your team. Yeah. And that sounds ridiculous, but it's awesome. I love it. I just picked up the new Pokemon game for me and my little girl. Was really happy. The first time in my life I was able to buy. They come out in two versions. There's Diamond and there's Pearl, and you buy one or the other, but there's certain ones you can only get in one game or the other. But now I'll be able to justify buying both of them at the same time with the quote-unquote excuse, oh, this one's for my daughter.
Whatever works. I mean...
Yeah.
I keep losing my train of thought this morning. I didn't drink enough coffee, I don't think.
I'm running on none.
Oh, yeah. I voiced an arcade game somewhere.
That's awesome.
That I have no idea where it is.
Seriously, if I voiced an arcade game, I would make it my goal to buy one of the cabinets to have in my house. That would be freaking sweet.
I do need to go back and look that up and try to find it because that would be kind of cool. I'm just waiting. What I'm really hoping for is to go to like a Dave & Buster's or something like that one day and just be walking around and hear that. Way, great job!
Yes.
Well, that's me. That would almost be more fun than going out and finding it.
Seriously, how many tickets do I need to take this arcade machine home?
Exactly. It's like if I told you that was me, does that get me a discount? Like, what do we got to do?
Yeah, seriously.
Well, buddy, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but it was good talking to you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me on here. I've never actually done a podcast before, so this was really cool to get the opportunity to do. Hell yeah. Well, there you go. You've literally double the experience that I do then.
As me and Mike were talking last week, nowhere to go but up from here.
Exactly. But yeah, I can't wait to hear it and to be able to share it with my friends. So they're all looking forward to hearing it. So
that's awesome, man. I will let you go. Anything you need to plug? put out there before we go?
I mean, you can follow me on Instagram, Ian_O_talent@gmail.com. I'm also working on a side project with some of my buddies and I. It's an NFT collection. So if you'd like to check that out, it's mandelbotset.io. It's like the Mandelbrot set, like fractions, but it's robots as well. So it's a randomly generated NFT. When you click our mint button, it'll throw together a bunch of various parts that I did all the artwork for and animated, and we overlay it over a Mandelbrot fractal, which is just a visualization of the mathematical function. Everything's kind of set towards the power of 2. So that's kind of what we're working on then. If you'd like to check that out, that would be awesome because we did put a lot of effort into that. So
cool. All right, buddy. I will hopefully be in touch with you soon. I think I sent you. No, I haven't sent you more work yet.
No, you did. Yeah, you got me some more stuff I got to work on later today. So
I did. You don't have to be in too big of a hurry. The lead actor's going to be out for like a week. So
okay, I got you.
Yeah. Another.
Well, you heard it here, folks. If he busts my chops for it, he told me I could take my time. So,
well, if you take longer than a week.
All right. 6 days then.
All right, man. Good talking to you, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you again soon. Have a great day.
Yeah, buddy.
All right,
Thanks for having me, man.
You're welcome.
Yep.
All right.